unfortunately it was a kill shelter. And after a week of being at the kill shelter, he was going to be euthanized. And on the day that he was going to be euthanized, they reached out to Second Chance Rescue, NYC Dogs, to save him. And our president, Jennifer Brooks, said, absolutely, we will take him. And with the help of our Dallas rescue partner, Dallas Dogger, we got him out of the shelter on the day that he was going to be put to sleep and pulled him to safety. He came up to New York, where he lives at Camp SCR with lots of other foster siblings, and in September began his rehab therapy here at Water for Dogs in New York City. He started intensive rehab therapy. He was actually boarding here and getting daily dry and hydrotherapy sessions. So what does that mean? Dry therapy consists of passive range of motion, stretching, massage, electrical stim, ultrasound, cold laser, acupuncture, and his hydrotherapy is swimming, what he's doing now, as well as underwater treadmill. In the pool, the water is therapeutic 90 degrees, which helps his ligaments, joints, and muscles become more pliable. And what senior therapist Jean Marie is doing in the pool right now is she's stimulating his tail, which is an extension of the spine. And that is what's causing his legs to move. So he came to us last year paralyzed, unable to do anything with his back legs at all. And through his rehab therapy sessions here at Water for Dogs in New York City, he has gained strength and reflexes that he didn't have. So what does that mean? That means that now he's able to stand on his own for short periods of time, and he's able to take a few steps here and there called abdominal walking steps. So those steps really come from the deep abdominal muscles closest to his spine. And we are hoping with continued rehab therapy that he will one day walk on his own again. Now this costs money, so we're asking for donations to help Eddie continue on his journey to walking on his own again by going to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate, and please indicate that it's for Eddie Milo. So Eddie is working his legs in the front, and when he first started here, he flailed. He was not comfortable in the water at all. So he's come a long way where he's very comfortable. If you look at his face, you can see how relaxed he actually is. And then Jean Marie is doing range of motion. So she is actually showing his legs what to do in the back and really taking them through their full range of motion. In between sets of swimming like this, she will take him off to the side and she will do massage to soften up what goes on in the front. All his work is done in the front, right? So he's very built and tight in the front, and he's weaker in the back. So we strengthen the rear while we stretch and massage and soften the front. Eddie is also available for adoption. What kind of home would be ideal for Eddie? Well, he would need a home something outside of the city, preferably in the suburbs, where there aren't a lot of cars and noise and construction, because that does make him a bit anxious. Someplace that would have enough room for his wheels. He's in a cart or wheels that were custom made for him by Eddie's Wheels, actually, is the name of the company. And he needs to be able to get around, so tight spaces are not ideal for him. A yard that is flat is ideal also. Also, we need somebody who's going to be available to really take care of him throughout the day. He needs his bladder expressed 9 times a day to prevent bladder infections and urinary tract infections, because he can't fully eliminate on his own. When he's inside, we have him in a diaper, and when he's outside and running the yard, we let him go without the diaper, but we always express him 9 times a day. He also needs to be stimulated to have bowel movements as well, and again, we do that outside, and we do that about 6 times a day to make sure that he's not defecating in the house. Again, he also does have a cart, So that's how he gets around. Now look at him, see, he's loving this massage. Again, if you can donate to Eddie Milo's rehab therapy, please go to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate, and please indicate that it's for Eddie Milo. A lot of people always ask, well, how did this happen to Eddie? We really don't know. Like I said earlier, he went off property. They couldn't find him. When they found him, he had no use of his back leg. So we can guess that perhaps he was hit by a car, or perhaps he had fallen off of something, but we don't know for sure. What we do know is that we want to continue Eddie on his journey to walking on his own again, and we do that by keeping him here at Water for Dogs 2 days a week. He comes here 2 days a week to do his dry and hydrotherapy, and we need donations to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate. Please indicate that it's for Eddie Milo. Again, he is available for adoption, and if you are the right home for him, please go to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/app-form and fill out an application. If you are not the right home for Eddie Milo but would like to foster or adopt, please go to the same website and look at all the adoptables that we have. We have over 250 dogs of all ages, breeds, and sizes. Maybe one of them is the just right dog for your family and your home. Please open up your heart and homes to one of these dogs in need. Again, this is Eddie Milo here at Water for Dogs in New York City doing his weekly rehab therapy. He lives a very good life. He's not in any pain, by the way. People often wonder, how is he in pain? He's absolutely not in any pain, and he lives a very good life at Camp SCR. He has currently, I think, 18 foster siblings that he runs the yard with 3 times a day at 3 hours a clip. So he's very well exercised, he's very well loved, and he's a bit spoiled, to tell you the truth. He doesn't ever complain about that part of it. And if you are the right home for him, please fill out an application. Again, his bladder would need to be expressed 9 times a day, and he does need to have himself stimulated, also to have bowel movements. So he does need someone to be home a good portion of the day to give him what he needs, and ideally also continue his rehab therapy. Again, Eddie's made a lot of progress. When he first came to Camp SCR, he had no use of his back legs at all, could not support himself at all, and he didn't even have any reflexes, and now he does. So he stands on his own for short periods of time, and he does some abdominal walking steps, and as you can see, by stimulating his tail, his legs do move. So please donate to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate and indicate it's for Eddie Milo's rehab therapy. We'd like him to be able to one day walk on his own, and we're hoping that you would like to help him do that as well.
So how long does each session last? Do they get longer with time as he gets stronger, or is it a set period of time that he spends in the pool?
Yes, so his dry therapy sessions, which come before his water therapy sessions, are 30 minutes. And his water therapy sessions are also 30 minutes, and that's split between the pool and the underwater treadmill. Although each dog's treatment plan is tailored specifically for that dog. So not every dog will have the exact same treatment plan, so it varies week to week, but that's a general kind of thing. So sometimes he'll have more pool time and less treadmill time, sometimes he'll have more treadmill time, sometimes he'll start with treadmill and then go to pool. It all changes up based on what his needs are and what the progress is. There are some dogs who don't do pool at all and do the whole time in the treadmill, and vice versa. And it all is tailored to that dog's individual needs. So again, for those of you who missed the beginning, this is Eddie Milo from Second Chance Rescue, NYC Dogs, and we are at Water for Dogs for his rehab therapy. Eddie Milo was an able-bodied pup, and at one day he wandered off property and came back unable to use his back legs, and that was in Texas. Now he's in New York with us, and we saved him. And after staying here at Water for Dogs for 3 consecutive months, he had made so much progress that he now stays at Camp SCR and just comes here 2 days a week for continued rehab therapy. So now Jean Marie is doing his stretching. So again, the front end is much tighter than the back end. So he does massage, stretching, and range of motion in the front to loosen up all the tight muscles and ligaments and joints in the front. Because that's really what he's used to working. So there's an imbalance here where he's way too strong in the front and weaker in the back. So what they try to do here is they try to loosen up what's in the front and then strengthen the back to create balance. Everybody always says, oh, he looks so tired, he looks so tired. Well, again, Eddie lives a very full life. So this morning he was out running around with his foster siblings for about 3 hours, and then he got a short nap, and then he got loaded up into the car. We drove into the city, and he had a half hour of dry therapy, and now he's doing water therapy. And they say, well, why don't you stop if he's tired? Well, the idea is to get him stronger. So it's like you're working out at the gym. If you stopped every time you got a little tired, you wouldn't grow. You would just stagnate. So we push Eddie so that he will continue his progress, get stronger, and hopefully walk on his own one day. And we need your help and support. So if you could donate at www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate and indicate that it's for Eddie Milo's rehab therapy, we would greatly appreciate it, and Eddie would absolutely appreciate it. Good boy. There he goes. That's it. One more. Do it. And again, we are with NYC Second Chance Rescue. If you can open up your heart and your home to a dog in need, we have over 250 dogs of various ages, breeds, sizes. If your home is right for one of them, please take a look and fill out the application at www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/app-form. We also are in need of volunteers, so if you're in the New York area, please volunteer and fill out the volunteer application form also on the website. You could help us with home visits, you could help us with processing applications, you could help us with transport, as well as walking some of the dogs that are not as fortunate as Eddie to be in a foster home and are in boarding. So there are plenty of ways to help. Besides donating, you can donate, you can foster, and you can volunteer your time or your services. And again, we're New York City's Second Chance Rescue, and we're here at Water for Dogs also in New York City. Please donate at www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate. Indicate that it's for Eddie Milo.
I'm just going to move into the treadmill.
Again, we have no idea what originally happened to Eddie. You can suppose that he was hit by a car or fell off of something. His previous family had just found him on the side of the property, unable to use his back legs at some point. So when he's not in his cart, that's how we transport him. We form a sling and we pick up his back end so that he doesn't drag. And that's how he has to go up and down stairs, by the way. He needs to be supported that way because obviously he can't go up and down stairs in his cart. So his ideal home would probably not have a lot of stairs to manage. And this underwater treadmill also fills with water that's at a therapeutic 90 degrees. So Eddie does very, very well in the treadmill. You'll see he uses his back legs a lot. He is supported by the water so that there's really no impact in his joints. And he also has the life vest, which gives him buoyancy. He is a very happy boy. He's a very loving boy. He gets along with other dogs. He's cat curious. We're not quite sure how far his curiosity goes. He's great with kids. And again, not great with traffic, loud noises, construction noises. So an apartment in the city is not ideal for him. We need to supervise him 100% of the time when he's in his cart because he can flip in his cart, which puts him in a very vulnerable position. How does the flipping happen? Easily. He's running around, he's playing, maybe his wheel goes up on something, and boom, he flips over. Also, if he gets very excited, like I said, he's very strong in the front, and he is able to actually jump up off the ground using his front legs, and he has also flipped in his cart that way. He has caught some air and flipped over. So we need to just make sure that doesn't happen. He needs 100% supervision to make sure that doesn't happen. And especially if there are other dogs in the yard, if he's flipped over in his cart, it puts him in a very vulnerable position with the other dogs, and we don't want anything to happen. So as you can see, his back legs are placing very nicely on the treadmill. Very little knuckling. An occasional knuckle here or there. And not all dogs can do that. So this is the progress that he has made from going from not able to do anything with his back legs at all to being able to take some steps like this and stand on his own for short periods of time. So we are looking to keep him in therapy here at Water for Dogs so that he can continue his progress and hopefully walk on his own someday. And we need your donations to do that. So please go to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate and indicate that it's for Eddie Milo. Doing good today, Eddie. I thought. Yes, he is extremely handsome. He loves the attention. And when he's done with therapy here, he gets a nice rinse and a blow dry. He'll get loaded up into his cart. We'll walk down to the garage and he'll get loaded into the car where he will quickly pass out and take his nap on the journey home. Once home, he will join the others in the yard and probably play for about an hour and a half. And then he'll get another nap at 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock, where he will then be brought back out again, stimulated to have a bowel movement. His bladder will be expressed again. He'll get loaded up into his cart. He'll eat and he'll play for another 3 hours. So he lives a very, very full life at Camp SCR. And Camp SCR is able to run with currently 17, 18, 19 dogs, I lose count, of all different ages and sizes through your donations. So please go to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate and donate what you can so we can help dogs like Eddie Milo in our rescue continue to get what they need to live their best life possible.